Hello, in today's video, we're going to take a look at an overview of the Patient Hub. Now, one way I can access the Patient Hub is from the lookup window. So within the patient lookup window, I can find the patient and select their name. By clicking on their name, it's going to go ahead and open up the hub for that patient, in this case, Aaron. I can see some demographic data here on the top left corner as far as profile picture. I also see phone numbers, age. If I do want to jump into patient demographics and update any information for this patient, I can simply just click on the info button and it's going to launch the patient demographic screen. I also have my P2P option here, which is going to allow me to take action using P2P items like sending patient record, send P2P referral/consult, or even create Helo appointment. To right of that, we have some advanced directive information from patient demographics, insurance data, PCP, renting provider, and default facility. Below that, I'm going to see some billing related information. If there's any patient or account balance, if they're in a certain collection status, I will be able to see that collection status right here. If I want to manage any of the billing alerts, I can go ahead and click on billing alert and it's going to open up my billing alerts. And I could also see any global alerts or manage global alerts that I want to add or remove for the patient. We also have guarantor balance, account inquiry, which is going to give a bird's eye view of all account information. And within the drop-down menu, if I do need to add any patient payments or use the cost estimator or payment plan option, it is available. And then lastly here, we have our billing logs. Another feature here of the Patient Hub is our appointments. This gives me an idea of the last appointment the patient had, as well as the next appointment the patient has coming up. And it'll tell me which facility it's going to be located at if we do have multiple facilities. Bumped appointment is keeping track of any appointments that this patient has in the bumped list so we can make sure that we reschedule them. And we can access our case manager for any of those workers' comp or motor vehicle accident cases. And if I do want to create a new appointment for the patient, I can use the new appointment button here and it's going to open up an appointment screen where I can start populating my appointment data. Here to the middle, I have my structured data, which is flowing from patient demographic additional information window. So if any structured data information has been filled in, it'll populate here. I'm also going to see any items that might be pending for this patient within our jelly beans. Currently it looks like I have nothing, so we've taken care of all items. But if I did have any numbers in here, it would let me know that I have those many items that I need to go ahead and address or review for this patient. Below, we see a series of different buttons that we can select. So progress note is going to allow me to view the most current progress note for the patient. So if appointment was today, we can see today's progress note. We also have our patient documents. So we can see our patient documents. The paperclip is indicating that there are patient documents sitting in there. So once I open up the screen, I can go and jump into any of the folders. And from here, if I did want to scan any documents, I do have that option. Or if I need to rearrange any documents within folders, I can also do so as well. We can create actions and assign those to staff members or even ourselves for certain patients. Like we may need to perform phone calls or maybe even preparing some documents that we need to send to the patient. If we wanted to go ahead and manage our actions, we just simply click on the button. But if we do want to create any new action, we can go ahead and click on the submenu here, or we could view all actions as well. New telephone encounter will allow us to create a new telephone encounter right from the hub. We can view the medical summary for the patient. So when we click on medical summary, I'm going to be able to see the full medical summary here. And I can scroll through the different sections of the medical summary, like medical history. I have my social history, immunizations, patient education, and it would even give me the ability to print or fax that information from the bottom. We also have devices. Mine is currently grayed out. If you do have any configured devices that are integrated with the eClinicalWorks application, we can manage them here. Any logs, so clicking on the logs up menu here is going to allow us to see letter logs, fax logs, e-prescription logs, any patient communication or medical record logs. I can create a new web encounter here. I also have my medical record. I can access my consult notes. So opening up the consult notes window, I'm going to be able to scan any consult notes that I may want for this patient here or add any here from my local system. I also have my letter functionality, so if I do need to run my letters, I can run a letter for this patient here. There's also the two arrows, which allows me to use quick mode. Quick mode will bypass the preview and go ahead and just run the letter and merge any tags that may be inserted on the letter for this patient. Send message will allow me to send a message using different modalities like voicemail, e-message, or even our text message SMS options. I can manage the patient's active problem list, so I am able to add or even remove problems from the problem list here. If I want to just take a look at it, I'll be able to see that information listed here. And then we have our problem list where we can manage our active problem list. We do have the ability to see all active problems here. So any that have been added to our current problem list, or if we do need to remove or add any diagnosis codes, we would be able to do that from here as well. Flow sheets, these are spreadsheet-like documents that track different information, including items like vitals or even structured data, lab attributes. We can view all flow sheets here for the patient. We can print label here using our Dymo label printer. We can access our eCliniforms. This is a repository for documents like consent forms, medical images that we can annotate on top of. So let's just say that I wanted to go quickly get the patient to sign a consent form for our practice. I can open up our eCliniforms from here and then have them go ahead and sign directly on that form. And the form will save directly into patient documents. Now on the right-hand side, we have our interactive chart wizard. This will display here with different tabs. If we did want to hide the interactive chart wizard, I can go ahead and click on the left arrow and it minimizes that information so we don't see it. But if I did want to see it, I can click on the right arrow and it opens it back up. On the left-hand side, we can access the patient's labs. So if I want to take a look at any previous labs or any current labs a patient has, I can go ahead and open those up here. And it does let me know if I do have any results received, what was the result. And if I do need to go ahead and input any information, I can always click here on the lab itself, and it will allow me to see the lab results window. We can also, in the same fashion, see our diagnostic imaging and procedures. We have our immunization and therapeutic injections. So I'm able to keep track of all those immunization therapeutic injections the patient has had. It will show me here by default the historical information. I can manage my incoming and outgoing referrals for the patient. I have my allergies. This allergies option will allow me to view the allergies. However, you cannot add any allergies from this particular screen. Any past, present, or future encounters can be seen from the encounters button. And I'm able to go ahead and view that encounter. I can print, fax, and it also keeps track of any encounters that might have been canceled, rescheduled, or were no-shows from the front office. Below that, I have my CDSS, which is my Clinical Decision Support System alerts. By clicking on this, it will open up a screen with several different tabs. So if I did want to just manage my CDSS, I could do that. Or if I want to look at practice configured or registry alerts, I would also be able to manage it from this screen. The RX button here is going to show us our patient medication summary. So you can view the patient medication summary here. Currently, I'm looking by date, but if I did want to break it down by medication, provider, or assessment, I could simply just click on that box and it will display it accordingly. And then lastly, we have our notes. Notes just live within the hub here. So if I have any notes that are particular to Aaron that I want to keep within the patient hub, I'll be able to add that in just by clicking on new. It's going to go ahead and timestamp it to the date and then indicate which user entered it, which will be the logged in user. And then I can put in my message here that I want to keep within the patient hub. And that concludes our overview of the patient hub. Thank you for watching.